Today on Studio One, construction job sites are dangerous places. Some people love to work in that kind of environment. We'll spend a day in the life of a carpenter. Also, fast jets and a commitment to your country are two things needed to fly these planes. We'll take a look at the Air National Guard. And we'll tell you how one community is looking back 5 years after a devastating flood.
From the University of North Dakota in Grand Forks, this is Studio One.
Hi everyone and welcome to Studio One. I'm Monty Cashel.
And I'm Kelly Anderson. Thanks for joining us today.
Well, it is the spring season, even though it's a little chilly outside right now. But a lot of people who are interested in getting out and fishing the waters, they're finally flowing again, that sort of thing.
If that's your cup of tea.
If that's your cup of tea. I'm actually one of those people who like to throw the line out every once in a while. I went to the Minnesota Department of Natural Resources website and I looked at their fish facts. See, we have a chef coming on the show a little bit later.
We do, to make us a fish dish.
Yes, walleye. And walleye is a big fish in Minnesota. Minnesota is actually the first in the nation for sales of fishing license per capita. And it might have something to do with they have a lot of water.
10,000 lakes?
10,000 lakes is what they have on their license plate. There's actually 3,800,000 acres of fishable water there.
Really?
A lot of water and a lot of fish as well. Listen to this. There's 2.1 million people who go fishing in Minnesota, and there's 35 million pounds of fish caught each year.
Well, it seems more like you should be a Minnesotan than a Canadian.
Well,
You'd fit right in there.
Minnesota, Canada, and North Dakota, Wisconsin, a lot of places have great fishing. But like we said, coming up, we're going to have a chef. He's going to show us some good tips for that.
We have a lot of fish stories today.
Right. Also on Studio One, 5 years ago, the eyes of the nation were on the Red River Valley as it dealt with a devastating flood. We'll tell you how two cities are celebrating their recovery.
Plus, we'll get some advice, some great recipe tips, and of course, a great meal with a visit from our favorite chef.
Before we get to all that, today's news with Leanna Anderson.
Thanks, Monty and Kelly. An explosion in a Manhattan building complex has left at least 40 people injured. The blast damaged a technical school, offices, and residential units. The New York Fire Commissioner says the explosion was probably the result of flammable chemicals used by a company in one of the buildings. Students in the 8-story technical school were evacuated, and streets in the area were closed off. At first, the explosion raised some fears of attack, but authorities quickly ruled that out. No one was killed in the explosion. In Texas, the president is hosting Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince Abdullah. The two leaders will meet at the president's ranch in Crawford and discuss issues that both sides say are critical to the Mideast peace process. U.S. officials predict the Saudi prince will tell President Bush to urge Israel to end their military operations in the West Bank. This includes withdrawing from Ramallah and the Church of the Nativity in Bethlehem. But President Bush also has his own requests. He may call on the Saudis to stop sending money to the Palestinian group Hamas. Summer is approaching and many are lighting up their gas grills. But this season, grillers won't be able to refill their propane tanks unless they have one new feature, a new safety device. The National Fire Protection Association requires an overfilling prevention device that keeps small propane tanks from being overfilled. The safety valve allows only 80% of the tank to be filled with propane. This limits the potential release of gas as the temperature changes and the propane expands.
This is a new style. It's got the float. Pulls the stopper down so it can't be overfilled. You cannot get propane out by opening. You have to have something actually inserted in the valve. It's the best thing to happen to the industry in a long time.
Tanks manufactured after September of 1998 already have the new safety device. People can bring their tanks to propane suppliers and have them revalved for around $30. Or in some parts of the U.S., grillers can swap their tanks for a new one with a safety device. With summer grilling soon ready to get underway, many people will be buying pop to go with those burgers and hot dogs. But in California, residents could pay more for their Coke and Pepsi if one state lawmaker gets his wish. He is proposing a bill that would place a 2-cent tax on soft drinks. The tax would be used to raise $350 million a year in order to fight childhood obesity. Soft drinks that contain more than 50% real juice and diet sodas would be exempt. The California-Nevada Soft Drink Association opposes the tax because it says there are many other contributing factors to childhood obesity. A natural disaster can be hard for any community to cope with. Debt, sadness, and loss are just some of the things that can follow. One community that experienced this kind of catastrophe is taking the time to look back at what happened 5 years ago and reflect on how far they have come. Looking back at a disaster can be hard, but one community hopes to turn tragedy into triumph. The flood of 1997 devastated much of the upper Midwest, but two communities have shown they can overcome a catastrophe. The cities of Grand Forks, North Dakota and East Grand Forks, Minnesota are remembering what happened 5 years ago and celebrating their accomplishments since then. Townspeople gathered together to reflect on the past and dedicate 12 bronze plaques, each one representing the disaster in a different way. Some are questioning whether it's appropriate to celebrate what happened, but others look at this event as something else.
We're not necessarily celebrating a disaster. We are celebrating our successes. We're celebrating how far we have come.
The community has been working on flood prevention since '97. Around $70 million will be spent to build a dike along the river to protect homes and neighborhoods from being destroyed again. Homes were not the only buildings lost in the flood. High river waters also forced many businesses to make some major changes. The Blue Moose restaurant used to be located right here, but after the flood, the owner had to move the entire building further from the river. So he put the whole thing on wheels and moved it across this busy street to its new location. The owner says his business has come a long way with the help of the city and caring people, although it hasn't been easy.
Well, it seems hard to believe that it was 5 years ago. A lot of tribulations as well. I'm glad to see it going further in the past, and every year that goes by, you know, there'll be more good memories to bring back, and less of the bad ones.
As the town looks back on the disaster with a dedication, a parade, and many heartfelt memories, some are torn between reliving the past and putting it behind them for good. But remembering what happened is one way for residents from both cities to focus on success and see more clearly how far they've come. The city of East Grand Forks has been doing a lot of rebuilding in the last 5 years. A new city hall, a public library, and 4 new schools are just some additions to the community. And that's news for now. Monty and Kelly?
Thank you, Leanna. Well, thankfully, we don't have to worry about any flooding this spring.
Yeah, we've had a really dry season.
We have.
Yeah.
The winter didn't have near as much snow.
Not as much. Well, let's go to the Regional Weather Information Center with Ryan Vipon and see what's in the forecast.
Monty and Kelly, it certainly has been dry out there, but also has been on the cold side the latter half of this week. And it looks like this weather pattern will not leave us here anytime shortly. But first of all, let's take a look at our almanac for today. We made it down to 21 degrees this morning. Simply amazing. That's a normal low for late March, not late April. And only 40 degrees this afternoon is all we could muster with the help of some sunshine. Sunset tonight at 8:33 p.m. In Grand Forks now with a partly sunny sky. Our temperature is at 39. Our dew point is very low and very dry at 17 degrees. Northwest winds still strong now at 18 miles per hour. They're expected to slacken up overnight tonight. Could possibly see some record lows we'll touch on here shortly. Current temperatures across the upper Midwest. Normally we should see highs around the 60-degree mark in parts of the upper Midwest here across the Red River Valley, but we're only hovering around 40 degrees right now. Simply amazing. Very cold air mass in place. 37 right now in Winnipeg, which is about 3 degrees Celsius. Current surface analysis, high pressure dominant across most of central parts of the United States, but up off to our north and east, that major low pressure system is scooting up off across the eastern seaboard and expected to cross off the coast later on overnight tonight. As we take a closer look into the upper Midwest, mainly a partly sunny to partly cloudy sky, and this high up off to our north and west will slide in our direction overnight tonight and create some clear skies and calm winds, which will help to drop those temperatures like a rock. Records are a possibility. Friday's forecast shows high moving up onto the north and east. This low pressure system is something we're going to have to watch. It will scoot up off into the central plains later in the weekend. We'll touch on that later in the show. It will have implications in our weather for early parts of the weekend. So in detail for tomorrow, 45 in Grand Forks. That record low of 19 would be a record. Right now it stands at 22 degrees, partly cloudy skies, and southeast winds tomorrow at 5 to 15. Weather IQ question today. I know we're having a chef on later in the show that's going to be cooking up some walleye. This is kind of a fishing question. What pressure system is most conducive to catching the most fish? Monty and Kelly, is it A, high pressure, or B, low pressure? We'll give you a while to think about the answer. Coming up later in the show, we'll have a closer look at that storm system that will affect parts of our region coming up over the weekend.
Well, thanks a lot, Ryan. We certainly do have a fishy show today.
It is,
and
we
I
do.
bet you know the answer to that.
I do, but I'm not going to tell.
I knew it.
Someone who has a lot of answers for sports questions is sportscaster James DeGelder. James?
Thanks, Kelly and Monty. Most Major League Baseball parks are getting bigger and better. However, there are a select few that haven't changed since they were built. Boston's Fenway Park opened on April 20th, 1912, and is the oldest stadium in the majors. It has been home to such greats as Babe Ruth, Ted Williams, and Carl Yastrzemski. The park has many unique features, including the green wall in left field, its manually operated scoreboard, and its geometrically peculiar shape. Fenway Park is the smallest stadium in the major leagues, seating only 34,000 fans. New ownership is looking to add on to 10,000 more seats to satisfy the demand. Red Sox tickets were the most expensive in baseball last season, averaging just over $36. But this doesn't keep diehard fans from still coming to the park they love.
Because we're so close to the field. You know, some of the places where their bleachers are, you need binoculars to watch the ball game.
Never been to another park in the country, and I don't want to go to another park in the country.
Time may be running out for Fenway Park as new ownership in Boston is pondering the idea of building a new stadium downtown. Anglers are always looking for tips on how to catch fish, and with summer fishing season approaching, many are attending seminars to get some pointers from the pros. Walleye angler Reggie Teal has been putting on fishing seminars like this one in Grand Forks, North Dakota since 1984. His tips focus on being successful through using the proper equipment and using it correctly. He sees his job as an opportunity to teach the joy of fishing while promoting it as a sport. Teal says you don't have to be a certain age or have advanced skills to be successful.
Really what I try to do is get people to just give them some knowledge that they can go out on the water and have some success fishing. You know, everybody likes to go out and fish, but you know, the catching is where it's really at.
For walleye fishing, Teal recommends brightly colored lures for murky water and natural colored lures in clear water. He also says a continuous snapping motion of the rod will help attract fishing to the lure. It's now time for the Studio One Sports Trivia question. This week, we're looking for what was the largest crowd to watch a high school basketball game. There's some big numbers there. We'll have the answer and more sports later on. Kelly and Monty?
Thank you, James. Coming up, you may have seen them in air shows or on movie screens, but few people ever get to fly an F-16 fighter jet. We'll find out what it takes to get inside that special pilot seat.
And we'll have a chef give us some of his tasty secrets. He'll show us a great way to use up that leftover walleye in the freezer. Stay with us.
The University of North Dakota College of Business and Public Administration offers real degrees for real people. Our nationally recognized faculty can help you earn a master's degree in business through evening classes.
Taking these evening classes were very convenient for me, and that's how I was able to complete the program.
We offer degrees for people who work, raise families, and lead busy lives. The UND College of Business and Public Administration, real degrees for real people.
Let the University of North Dakota become your strategic partner by providing your business with skills to enhance your workforce retention and productivity efforts. The UND Office of Workforce Development has extensive experience in conducting employee satisfaction research, workforce needs assessments, and the development of customized training materials. Call us for further information. Workforce Development, a service of the Division of Continuing Education at the University of North Dakota.
The Western Prairie is an unforgiving land where water is scarce and wind abundant. Many homesteaders struggle to make a living on small farms unsuited for continual cultivation and grazing in this harsh environment. Over time, the prairie sod turned to dust. On a sprawling cattle ranch in central South Dakota, 2 generations of the Mortensen family have spent the past 50 years restoring and increasing the productivity of their land.
We went from abundance to, the other end of the extreme where there wasn't much here, and now we're going back the other way again. We see the changes every year.
From dam building to replenish groundwater to a vegetation-enhancing cattle management plan that mimics how buffalo graze, the Mortensen Ranch serves as a model of profitable ranching working in harmony with nature.
We're running twice as many animals as the place is rated for right now, and it's not smoke and mirrors. It's, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't economically viable to do it.
And that's the fun part of it now, is just to watch these plants reclaim what was once their natural habitat. And Dad always told us, he said, the way to look at land is leave it in such a state to where somebody won't starve to death because you were so short-sighted in your lifetime.
The University of North Dakota. You can go anywhere from here. At UND, you'll find a challenging, exciting community that draws students from across the nation and around the world. The University of North Dakota offers 136 programs with outstanding faculty who will prepare you for your future. UND, an affordable, high-quality education that's nationally ranked. Your future starts here. Visit our campus and join the University of North Dakota community.
You're watching Studio One, news, weather, sports, and entertainment.
With springtime upon us, many people are breaking out the fishing rods and getting ready to bring home a boatload of catches. But what do you do with a freezer full of fish? With us today is Chef Kim Holmes to show us how to prepare a great fish dish.
Good afternoon.
Thanks so much for coming on today, Kim.
Thanks for having me.
Well, are you a fisherman?
No, I'm not. Not like Monty.
Neither am I.
Wow, every once in a while.
I use dynamite and gill net on the red.
Well, there you go. That'll get
Whatever works.
Yeah,
but we are today trying to help out the people who may have a bunch of leftover fish. So what are we making?
Well, what we're going to do is we're going to do a pasta. I'm using penne pasta today, linguine, spaghetti, whatever you prefer. I'm doing a marinara sauce called Diavolo, which means devil in Italian.
Diavolo,
and it has red chili, so it's got a little zip to it.
Got a little
but
kick.
Not too much for the Norwegian crowd here.
Keep it kind of mild. So what kind of fish are we using?
We're going to use walleye. We're going to use Red River halibut, and Red River scallops, and then Red River shrimp.
I don't know if I want to do that Red River fare.
No, actually, I had some extra fish, but halibut, I mean, the walleye will work just fine all by itself.
Sure. Okay, and so the rest of the ingredients people can just pick up at the grocery store?
Well, yeah, it's however you want to make your tomato sauce.
Okay.
We do it a certain way. If anybody wants, will give me a call at Sanders, and I'll give you the recipe the way we do it. But I'm sure everybody has their own special tomato sauce, you know, Grandma passed down.
Yeah.
And you just add some red chilies to that, and away we go.
So what's the first step to your sauce?
Well, first we're going to, I've got, since we're here, not my kitchen, I put all the...
what is in there?
That's oil, and we have red chilies, we have pepper, and we have salt. And then scallops.
And it is hot.
That's how I want it.
So the first thing we threw on there?
Are the scallops.
Okay.
And then we go with the walleye.
And now is that fresh walleye or is it frozen?
No, this is frozen walleye like you requested, right out of my freezer.
Okay.
All right, is there...
All right, the halibut is right here, and that is fresh. It came in from the Northwest.
Is there a difference
Seattle
between
area.
the flavor of fresh fish or frozen fish?
It can be. If it's been in the freezer too long, it gets freezer burnt, and it tastes like the freezer more than it tastes like the fish.
Now, is there a reason that you did it in the order that you put the fish in?
Yes, the scallops take a little longer to cook than the walleye, and then the halibut. You can see that's the halibut right there. It's flaking up real nice already.
Now,
All right.
fish often, you know, it burns really quickly. It's very easy to cook and overcook.
Yes.
And you're using a really high heat. How do you get away from not overcooking
Well, the temperature of the fish is bringing the heat of the pan down, and since we're using a hot plate, I wanted to crank her up and get it started. So the fish would sear.
Okay.
Well, it's starting to smell pretty good. What's our next step?
Okay, the next step is when this fish cooks and it's starting to flake here, it'll be time to add the tomato sauce.
And what's in there? Is that the...
This is our marinara sauce, my Fra Diavolo sauce, and I've pureed this.
Oh, okay.
To make this look a little bit smoother. When I worked in Florence, Italy, with their seafood sauces, they pureed it. And
And that's just for the aesthetics of it, or?
yeah, it shows the fish instead of chunks of tomatoes. It's very smooth, and then you get this sauce going, and it'll heat up. And you notice I haven't added the shrimp yet.
Right.
And I won't do that because it's already cooked.
Okay.
And all I want to do is heat the shrimp, and then we will pour this sauce over what I already have made for you, and that's penne pasta, and there is some sauce in there, and we'll do that in just a second as soon as this comes to a boil.
Now you had, enough oil in the bottom, a little bit there, that you put the fish in, and then you mixed all of your tomato sauce in it. That's okay to mix the oil with the tomato sauce in
Oh,
there?
yes, yes.
Gives a good flavor?
Absolutely, especially I use extra virgin olive oil, and it's a very rich and flavorful oil, and has a high burn point, olive oil, as opposed to certain other oils, and it's very good for you, olive oil.
So the spices that you use in here, are these kind of ones that go well with fish? Are they kind of universal fish spices?
Well,
or is it just...
the red chilies are, salt and pepper, of course. Now, some people like oregano or fresh basil. Fresh basil would be extremely good in this. And you chop that up and you throw that in at the end. Because if you put basil in with the oil, it turns black.
I see.
And then you get a burnt flavor, and that's no good.
Not what you're looking for. Now, would it be a possibility if you had a different type of fish in your freezer to use that in here?
Yes. Basically, like lobster tails, frozen lobster tails, that's how this dish started. And you would take a live lobster, and you'd get your skillet real hot, and then you'd cut the lobster in, leave it in the shell.
While he was alive?
Yes.
Kim.
And they go, ooh. Just kidding. Actually, when you put them in water, they do emit a little scream.
Oh my. No, not now.
This is a G-rated show.
Yeah, this is, okay, I'm sorry, kids. Sorry. But you cut the lobster up in pieces, and you throw it in the skillet with the chilies and the oil. Then you add the tomato sauce, and you get the flavor from the shell and the lobster, and then you take that out, and
so you can also use
your
Red River lobsters in there, huh?
That's it.
And you just pour that, then we have to wrap up.
Okay, well, I'm going to add the shrimp real quick here.
Okay.
All right.
And we just want to heat the shrimp up. You can see it's cooked. And
now I couldn't do that at
That
home.
would get a little messy.
all right, and then we've got some that I've cooked for you guys already. We pour it over the top, and I have a little parsley that I will spray on this, sprinkle on that, and then we'll mix that up a little bit. And when we come back, you guys get to eat.
We get to eat.
Well, lucky us.
All right.
All right. Well, Kim, thank you so much for coming on today.
My
This
pleasure.
was a lot of
Good
fun.
to see you. It's nice to be with Bo Derek in person.
Well, coming up, we'll preview a new style of movie that combines action, sports, and adventure and gives us the ultimate view of ESPN's X Games. And we'll spend a day with a man whose high-risk job puts him at the mercy of the weather every day of the week. We'll see why he takes such a challenge. Stay with us.
UND's Conflict Resolution Center is your regional training resource for conflict transformation and prevention. Conflict is inevitable in the business world. Your ability to manage it is key to your success. That's where we can help. We provide on-site training, mediation, and facilitation services customized for your organization. The UND Conflict Resolution Center, capturing the positive energy of conflict and transforming it into human potential.
Why should I go to the University of North Dakota School of Engineering and Mines? Is it the small class sizes and personal attention I'll get from the faculty and staff? Is it the hands-on student projects my friends and I will work on? Is it the professional internship programs that'll help me prepare for my future career? Maybe I just want to be a part of something amazing.
Find out for yourself what makes the UND School of Engineering and Mines the perfect choice for your engineering degree. Call 1-800-CALL-UND. That's 1-800-CALL-UND.
The University of North Dakota has a rich history of retaining and graduating American Indian students. UND offers 26 American Indian programs, more than any other higher education institution in the U.S. The support services provided by Native American programs enhance student success. Native American programs offer tutoring, academic advising, and financial aid assistance, which makes UND a leader in Indian education. For more information, call 1-800-CALL-UND.
The School of Law at the University of North Dakota. This is a unique place, a place where you can learn with some of the best technology, where you can talk to the faculty in small class settings, a place where student activity groups enhance your education, a place which offers interaction with the court system, an affordable place where you can gain all the skills you need to get a job. Take your place at the University of North Dakota School of Law. Phone 1-800-CALL-UND.
A new film is bringing real-life action and adventure to the big screen. Ultimate X combines highlights and stories from ESPN's 2001 X Games. Ultimate X showcases top athletes in street luge, skateboarding, BMX riding, and motocross. Cameras were attached to the riders' bikes and helmets to capture the extreme concept of the sports. Some of the cameras used were so large they had to be carried by cranes. Film producer Art Ripola says the film will capture its audiences.
We're able to put camera rigs on the luges, on the bicycles, on the motorcycles, and put the audience right in the action and give them the feel of being there.
X Games stars like Tony Hawk and Dave Mirra are in the film. They share their experiences at the games as they practice for and compete in the championship. Starting May 10th, the film will be shown on IMAX and large format cinema screens worldwide. Now time to take a look at the events happening in your area. Every day, carpenters put themselves at risk of serious injury. Bad weather, sharp tools, and heavy equipment can all add to the danger. Despite all of this, there are some people that love to build. Today, we spend a day in the life of a carpenter.
The radio blaring and hammers pounding are some of the common sounds you might hear at a construction site. Carpenters like Mike are used to these repetitive sounds. At this site, Mike is building a huge barn. This is nothing new to him because he has been building barns and other structures for years. Even with this vast experience, he admits he is far from becoming a master carpenter.
I mean, I know a lot of stuff, but I don't think anybody could ever know everything. There's always an easier way to do something that you don't know.
Mike loves his job, even though he is at a very high risk of getting injured. Still, he admits accidents can and do happen.
During a windstorm, tin flew up and cut somebody's face all up.
This isn't the only serious injury Mike has witnessed. He once had to pull a nail from a friend's hand. It is not just injuries that deter people from doing carpentry, but also the extreme weather conditions. Aside the cold weather, carpenters like Mike work year-round. The cold doesn't only freeze their faces, but makes the high rafters they walk on very slick. The height is also a dangerous factor. And even though Mike is used to working high up in the air, falling is still a danger that carpenters must be careful of. With all of the risks that go with carpentry, Mike still says he accepts them all over an office job any day of the week.
I got a half-inch. You got a half-inch sticking
With
out.
photographer Frode Norby, I'm Robert Palm for Studio One.
Retired carpenters often have problems with their hearing. This is because of the noise from sawing, hammering, and large equipment they are exposed to on the job. On average, 16 people die every day waiting for an organ transplant. We'll tell you how a new law could make it easier for people to become donors. Plus, many children dream of what their future career may be. We'll meet one man whose childhood dream has led him to be a protector of our nation. That story plus news, sports, and the updated weather forecast in the next half hour of Studio One.
Students from any major can build a great future through the entrepreneurship programs at the College of Business and Public Administration at the University of North Dakota.
It lets them meet with business people and spread their wings and do the research to see if their ideas really do work.
Well, this program is for everybody. Business coincides and integrates with any major out there.
Trust yourself. Take action. Discover the entrepreneurship programs at the UND College of Business and Public Administration.
Explore the educational opportunities available through the Division of Continuing Education at the University of North Dakota. With just one phone call or a click of the mouse, you'll find high-quality programs designed for today's adults. We have a large selection of continuing education courses that are available at a time and place that's convenient for you. Discover a world of learning through the Division of Continuing Education at the University of North Dakota.
Future a bit cloudy? Get a brighter picture at UND Aerospace and the University of North Dakota. World-class training programs endorsed by major airlines, an extraordinary fleet of aircraft, and learning facilities second to none make UND Aerospace the largest collegiate aviation program in North America. Begin your future in the aviation industry. Explore programs in space studies or computer science. Soar into the atmospheric sciences. It's all here at UND Aerospace. What's in your future? UND Aerospace, clearly the leader in aviation education.
Are you a parent looking for childcare? Do you know what good childcare looks like? Do you provide childcare and have questions? Does childcare affect your business? Do you have employees who are concerned about childcare? Doesn't every child deserve quality childcare? Any questions? Call Child Care Resource and Referral.
From the University of North Dakota in Grand Forks, this is Studio One.
Welcome back to Studio One. Thanks for staying with us.
Yes, we have a lot coming up in the next 30 minutes on Studio One, so let's get right to it. Every 13 minutes, another name is added to the list of those waiting for an organ transplant. We'll tell you how a new law could help in making their wait a bit shorter.
And many people are required to wear suits to work. We'll meet one man whose job requires him to wear a special suit that keeps him from passing out on the job.
Also, Teddy Roosevelt described it as a glorious life, and he was talking about living in western North Dakota. Later, we'll give you an idea for summer vacationing that could bring out the cowboy and cowgirl in everyone. Before we get to that, today's news with Leanna Anderson.
Thanks, Monty and Kelly. A tornado swept through southeast Missouri Wednesday night, damaging homes and frightening the surrounding communities. In Marquand, both the City Hall and the fire department sustained roof damage. The tornado also touched down near the town of Van Buren, bringing down dozens of utility poles. There have been no reports of major structural damage or injuries, but some survivors say it was hard to find shelter once the tornado touched down.
It was destroying everything in its path. We was looking for a basement to get to. Finally found one at a friend's house, and it tore the house up that we were in.
Weather is also causing problems in central Colorado. Erratic winds are fanning a wildfire that has spread to 2,400 acres. Hotshot wildfire specialists were called in from as far away as Illinois. Air tanks and helicopters have dropped fire retardant on the blaze, but were hampered by winds. Officials moved about 2,000 people from their homes in Bailey. They were able to return, but with a warning that they may have to leave again. Only 5% of health clubs are using an important tool to ensure the safety of their clients. Some clubs are training their employees to use defibrillators, which can stabilize a heart attack victim until paramedics arrive. Research shows a greater risk of heart attacks when people exercise, and that's why the American Heart Association and the American College of Sports Medicine are urging health clubs to buy defibrillators. Many clubs are looking into getting one, but the initial cost is holding them back. The price of just one machine can run as high as $4,000. But some say the cost is worth it because what's important is their client's safety.
So I think it's a vital part of any organization that's dealing with a large amount of people, and especially our responsibility as a health and fitness business. We should be prepared for any situation that could occur with our members' health.
Many clubs have staff members trained in CPR, but defibrillators can be more beneficial. CPR pushes blood through the heart, while a defibrillator can get the heart beating at its regular rhythm. The U.S. may soon need to deal with a growing number of countries who are watching from above. Once dominated by the United States and Russia's spy satellites are quickly becoming easy for other countries to obtain. At least a half dozen countries now have access to spy satellite imagery. This increase may take away the element of surprise the U.S. military relies on when making attacks. In the past, the U.S. and Russia worked on weapons that would destroy satellites, but both countries are less interested in that tactic. One congressman has suggested jamming the satellite signals so other countries could not receive the pictures. More than 80,000 people are in desperate need of an organ transplant. Many people intend to donate and express the decision on their driver's license. The state of Minnesota has just assured that these wishes will be carried out.
3 years ago, tragedy struck the home of Carol and Gary Berg. At just 56 years old, Gary suddenly had a stroke and was soon declared brain dead. Just moments later, doctors asked Carol to donate Gary's organs. That decision may be difficult for many, but it wasn't for Carol.
He had told me many years ago, we were just driving down the road the first time, and he said, if anything ever happens to me, I would want to be an organ donor.
But not all people talk to their family about their wishes. They just check the donor box on their driver's license. Under most state laws, that's not enough. The donor's family must also give consent.
Talk to your family. Even if you don't want it, just let your family know so they don't have to make the decision. And we don't think it's going to happen to us, but Gary was only 56.
The state of Minnesota is one of several states that just passed a new law. It now considers the donor indication on a license as legally binding. This will make it easier for people to donate and possibly increase the organ supply. Someone who knows what it's like to anxiously wait for a donor is Mike Blake. Mike is a music instructor at the University of North Dakota. He is also the recipient of a donated heart. Before his transplant, it was a challenge for him to lead a normal life.
I would be so exhausted and I couldn't walk up the stairs, and some days I couldn't carry my briefcase, and I couldn't hold my son, who was just a little guy then, because I'd get so tired even if he was in my lap.
Mike says the new law in Minnesota could be a positive step.
It's a terrible time for somebody to be asked if they can use some of the organs for someone else, and to have to go through that and to eliminate that process, I think would be good.
Patients like Mike, who are lucky enough to find a donor, are extremely thankful for a second chance at life. With the passage of the law in Minnesota, more people may soon get their wish, whether it's to be a donor or just to live a healthy life. For Studio One News, this is Stephanie Shimmick.
There are some people who are opposed to this new law because it is hard for a person to change their mind once it is on their license. They also feel that the family should have a say in the decision. And that's news for now. Monty and Kelly.
Thanks, Leanna. Well, Ryan said that there was a storm system brewing.
Yeah, which we don't really look forward to, but I guess we should probably go back over to the Regional Weather Information Center and
we need details.
See what he has to say. Ryan?
Well, Monty and Kelly will get you up to date on all that storm system activity that's poised to affect parts of our region for the weekend. But first, let's take a look at the current conditions here in Grand Forks. Partly sunny skies. Our temperature, as you've noticed, is up about a few degrees since we last checked. It's now at 42. That's the current high then for today. Dew point, though, has dropped considerably, and this is a level that we look for overnight low temperatures. I don't think we'll make it this low, but I think temperatures will be well into the teens, which will be some record lows for parts of our region. Jet stream for today, predominantly a northwesterly flow across the country, keeping the coldest air up to the north and the warmest air, as you would expect, off to our south. As we put this into motion, however, this is valid for next week, Thursday, the 2nd of May. A minor ridge develops here across parts of central United States, and this will help to draw in some warmer air out of this next storm system that's going to be affecting parts of the Pacific Northwest. I think I can expect a moderating trend in temperatures the early part of the week into the middle part of next week. So our forecast for Friday morning shows high pressure up to our north and east and in control across parts of the Ohio Valley as well. This guy right down here is what we're going to have to watch over the next couple of days. It's going to get cranky here across parts of the Four Corners and shoot out into the Central Plains by Saturday morning. Showers and thunderstorms prevalent along this cold front from Oklahoma into Texas, but on the northern fringe, it will be cold enough for the rain to mix with some snow, and I think the best chance for this will be across southeastern parts of North Dakota into central Minnesota as well as eastern South Dakota. So our detailed extended forecast looks like this for Grand Forks, partly cloudy and 45 for a high on Friday. That 19-degree temperature Friday morning would be a record low. Mostly cloudy for Saturday, maybe a few flurries and 43, up near 50 for Sunday, and then close to 60 hopefully by Monday afternoon with a partly cloudy sky. Weather IQ answer for today, we asked which pressure system is most conducive to catching the most fish? And the answer is B, low pressure. You know, Monty and Kelly, weather folklore has it that a pressure level of 30.10 inches is a rule of thumb. If the pressure is higher than that, fish won't be biting as well.
Well, that's interesting to know. Thanks a lot, Ryan.
Thanks for the fishing tip.
We are learning a lot about fish today.
We are. I think that's the last fish thing that we have on the show.
It's possible.
We do have a story about some die-hard golfers, though, and James DeGelder is here to tell us about that.
Thanks, Kelly and Monty. Once the long winter begins to change to spring, golfers start to get antsy. They hope for any chance to get out on the course. Some are so eager to golf, they head out on the fairways before many golfers would even consider it.
Once the snow melts, die-hard golfers can't wait to crush a drive, chip in from the fringe, or drain a 20-foot putt.
Oh. Come on, make a putt.
Garrett Cochran jumped at the chance to get in a few holes early in the golf season this year. He and his friends took a break from the real world and went out one afternoon to Lincoln Golf Course in Grand Forks, North Dakota. All they wanted was a fun, laid-back round of golf. This is a rare opportunity for the three, who also play for the local high school team.
Oh, dang it. When we don't work or we don't have a tournament going on, we usually come out and play for fun and bragging rights and stuff.
And that's exactly what their games turn into, a friendly competition. There's no need to keep score when they're just out there to have a good time. And for some, that's probably a good thing. After a long winter, their favorite course finally opened. It didn't bother them that the flowers weren't quite blooming, the trees were as plain as the grass, and a swift wind kept their balls off the fairway.
You know, you just want to get out here. It's hard to stay away when it's gone for a couple months, and just excited to be back.
Let's make some birdies now. There we go.
With finals for school coming up, the three guys will look for any chance to get away from their troubles on the course. This is Corey Morlock reporting for Studio One Sports.
Garrett says the main reason they golf is because they love the game, and it's a great chance to spend some time with friends. It's now time for the answer to this week's Studio One Sports trivia question. This week, we're looking for the largest crowd ever to watch a high school basketball game. The answer is 41,000 was having the state final game in the RCA Dome in 1990. And that's the sports for today. Kelly and Monty?
Thanks, James. That's a lot of people.
It is. It must have been a pretty good high school team.
I sure hope it was. Anyone wanting to sample the Western life can saddle up and ride into the rugged North Dakota Badlands. Coming up, a place of Western hospitality and fun for the whole family.
And we'll introduce you to a man who is working to keep our nation safe. We'll even give you an exclusive look at an F-16 fighter jet. That story is next on Studio One.
Address your workforce training needs through the Workforce Training Partnership between Lake Region State College and the University of North Dakota. Both institutions have joined together to provide training in computer applications, management and supervision, the trades, and much more. The partnership also provides customized training programs to fit the specific needs of your business or industry. For more information, contact the Workforce Training Partnership Office at Lake Region State College or the University of North Dakota.
UND's Conflict Resolution Center is your regional training resource for conflict transformation and prevention. Conflict is inevitable in the business world. Your ability to manage it is key to your success. That's where we can help. We provide on-site training, mediation, and facilitation services customized for your organization. The UND Conflict Resolution Center, capturing the positive energy of conflict and transforming it into human potential.
Explore the educational opportunities available through the Division of Continuing Education at the University of North Dakota. With just one phone call or a click of the mouse, you'll find high-quality programs designed for today's adults. We have a large selection of continuing education courses that are available at a time and place that's convenient for you. Discover a world of learning through the Division of Continuing Education at the University of North Dakota.
You're watching Studio One from the University of North Dakota in Grand Forks.
The Catholic Church is rich in tradition, but should traditions change? Some people within the church believe that the priesthood would benefit from a broader mix of married and celibate priests. We wanted your thoughts on allowing Catholic priests to marry.
Good idea to possibly open the opportunity of marriage to priests anyway. And I think the whole scandal thing is just a really sad situation for everybody involved.
Times are changing. I think that's something that they need to change. I think it would reduce problems.
Well, I do believe that. I have often wondered why they couldn't marry, and I figure they're normal people. Why couldn't they marry?
Well, I just don't think it's right. It's not morally acceptable. I mean, it's not morally reprehensible that a priest should marry. It's just that they're bending, 2,000 years of religion, tradition, and doctrine, to, basically suit a new situation. It doesn't seem right.
That they should be allowed to marry. Maybe this would solve some of the problem here. My husband is a Catholic, and we have a son, and I'm Lutheran, and I definitely wouldn't want him to go to the Catholic Church at this point.
The attacks on the United States last year made us all realize how important protecting our safety can be. Pilots that fly for the military have the awesome responsibility of making sure our nation stays safe.
Aim high and shoot for the stars is a motto some people live by. However, this is something a fighter pilot can take literally. On a daily basis, they get to train in a powerful vehicle that takes them into the heavens. Dana Mullenauer is one such pilot who has a chance to live out his childhood fantasy.
A lot of kids draw pictures of fire trucks or police cars or stuff like that. I always just drew airplanes. So when I was growing up, I've always wanted to be a pilot.
Preparing to fly an F-16 fighter takes some planning. Dana first checks in with the supervisor of flying to get the latest weather update for the flight route. He is then briefed on the mission scenario that will be conducted before being suited up for flight. These pilots usually spend 4 to 5 minutes putting on equipment that helps protect them against forces they experience during flight.
Your G suit, which also has bladders in it, which inflate as you pull Gs. The whole reason behind that is to keep the blood from pooling in your lower extremities and forces it back up to your head so you don't pass out while you're flying.
Blacking out was the least of Dana's worries last fall. Following the terrorist attacks on September 11th, he was assigned to patrol the airspace above Washington, D.C. He says the Air National Guard played a crucial role in national security after the attacks.
And as most of the sorties that were being done as far as air defense in the United States were being conducted by Air National Guard units.
Dana has also been a part of the United States Navy and got to fly combat missions over Iraq. He has also spent time flying passengers for a commercial airline, but really enjoys being full-time with the Air National Guard.
The opportunity to continue to fly fighters in the military, along with being able to live around where I'm from.
If you see one of these birds in action, you can be rest assured that there's somebody behind the controls loving what they do. With photographer John Meyer, I'm Ryan Vipon reporting for Studio One.
Air National Guard pilots need room to perform their training drills. Certain cleared airspace is granted to the guards where no other aircraft are allowed to enter while they're perfecting their maneuvers. Some say it's the greatest show in the West. The Medora musical is North Dakota's #1 attraction and has been recognized in 2002 as a top 100 event in North America. We'll talk with a Medora musical performer next on Studio One.
Let your job experience help you earn a degree in engineering while you continue to work. The University of North Dakota's Distance Engineering degree program offers the only ABET accredited undergraduate degree program at a distance. Instructors and classes are delivered to you through videotape and other technologies.
Allows you to have a class whenever you like.
UND Continuing Education and the School of Engineering and Mines, teaming up to bring quality education to your door.
Future a bit cloudy? Get a brighter picture at UND Aerospace and the University of North Dakota. World-class training programs endorsed by major airlines, an extraordinary fleet of aircraft, and learning facilities second to none make UND Aerospace the largest collegiate aviation program in North America. Begin your future in the aviation industry. Explore programs in space studies or computer science. Soar into the atmospheric sciences. It's all here at UND Aerospace. What's in your future? UND Aerospace, clearly the leader in aviation education.
The School of Law at the University of North Dakota. This is a unique place, a place where you can learn with some of the best technology, where you can talk to the faculty in small class settings, a place where student activity groups enhance your education, a place which offers interaction with the court system, an affordable place where you can gain all the skills you need to get a job. Take your place at the University of North Dakota School of Law. Phone 1-800-CALL-UND.
Why should I go to the University of North Dakota School of Engineering and Mines? Is it the small class sizes and personal attention I'll get from the faculty and staff? Is it the hands-on student projects my friends and I will work on? Is it the professional internship programs that'll help me prepare for my future career? Maybe I just want to be a part of something amazing.
Find out for yourself what makes the UND School of Engineering and Mines the perfect choice for your engineering degree. Call 1-800-CALL-UND. That's 1-800-CALL-UND.
Authentic Western hospitality awaits you in Medora, North Dakota. Medora combines the best of both worlds, old-fashioned atmosphere and Western hospitality with modern amenities. Marketing Director for Theodore Roosevelt Medora Foundation, Wade Westin, is here to tell us about the Wild West adventures found in Medora. Thank you for coming on the show today.
Glad to be here, Monty.
Well, Medora is actually a town in North Dakota, correct?
It most certainly is. It's an Old West cow town that through the history of Medora has started to become one of the major attractions in North Dakota.
Well, why do people get attracted to there? What are some of the things that happen in Medora?
Well, one of the major attractions is the Medora musical. It opens June 5th this year and runs nightly through September 1st. And it's a musical extravaganza that's a Broadway-style musical with country western music, old and new style country. There's a patriotic theme at the end and a portion that pays tribute to Theodore Roosevelt with the Charge Up San Juan Hill.
Okay. Now, you promote the show as the greatest show in the West. What makes this unique?
Well, one of the things is the Burning Hills Amphitheater. It's set outside so that while you're watching the show and prior to the show, you're able to see the beautiful Badlands, and there's elk roaming on the buttes, and I guess the biggest thing is the charm and the beauty of the area.
Okay. Now, you mentioned Teddy Roosevelt. Mm-hmm. There's a historical theme that you try and teach people about North Dakota as well?
Right. Teddy Roosevelt came to the Medora area and ranched there, and a good portion of his life that he spent there, he was revitalized from that area, the beauty and the ruggedness of it. And we try to tell that story.
Okay. How much has Medora changed since it first began?
Well, one of the big things is the Burning Hills Amphitheater itself. Back in 1958, I believe it was built in celebration of Theodore Roosevelt's 100th anniversary of his death. And it started out as wooden planks, and back in 1992 they redid the amphitheater, and it's a beautiful construction now.
Okay. Now, you yourself are a Burning Hills singer, and Burning Hills singers are the people who sing and dance during the musical performance. What do you enjoy most about doing this?
Well, being from North Dakota, being able to perform for fellow North Dakotans, and there's lots of times I'll see family or friends in the audience, or old friends from college come down after the show, and that's one of the biggest pleasures for myself.
Now, you perform every night, and it's from, you said, June all the way through till September?
Right.
Do you ever burn out? I mean, every night?
Not really, because each crowd is a new crowd. They haven't seen the show, and one of the best things about the area is the beauty around it. And during the day, I love to go mountain biking on the Mattahay Trail and go hiking in Theodore Roosevelt National Park. So there's a lot to do besides the musical for us entertainers as well.
Sure, and I'm sure a lot of people that do take in the musical, that's at nighttime, and they do a lot of those activities as well.
Right, and one of the things that we're particularly proud of this year is the fact that there's 5 North Dakotans in the show. That's a first for the Medora musical.
Okay. Now, does Medora only have things for you to see during the summertime, or can you go in the winter as well?
You can go during the winter, of course. There's a bed and breakfast. The Rough Rider Hotel downtown has a bed and breakfast. And over the Christmas, right around the middle of December, they have Cowboy Christmas. And that's not as publicized, but to see the Badlands when there's snow, it's beautiful.
Yeah. Now, I've actually been to Medora once and saw the musical, and you were in it. You did a great job. Okay. Are there any new things if I was to go back? And it's been a couple years now.
There are. This year we have a new host, Drew Perkins. He's from the Nashville, Tennessee area, and he's a talented musician that will be mixing it up with our live band on stage. And it's rumored this year we'll have some dueling fiddles.
Great. Well, thanks a lot for telling us all about this great opportunity for a vacation, Wade.
Well, thank you, Monty.
All right. You're watching Studio One from the University of North Dakota. We'll be back right after this.
The University of North Dakota has a rich history of retaining and graduating American Indian students. UND offers 26 American Indian programs, more than any other higher education institution in the U.S. The support services provided by Native American programs enhance student success. Native American programs offer tutoring, academic advising, and financial aid assistance, which makes UND a leader in Indian education. For more information, call 1-800-CALL-UND.
Let your job experience help you earn a degree in engineering while you continue to work. The University of North Dakota's Distance Engineering Degree Program offers the only ABET-accredited undergraduate degree program at a distance. Instructors and classes are delivered to you through videotape and other technologies.
Allows you to have a class whenever you like.
UND Continuing Education and the School of Engineering and Mines, teaming up to bring quality education to your door.
Are you a parent looking for childcare? Do you know what good childcare looks like? Do you provide childcare and have questions? Does childcare affect your business? Do you have employees who are concerned about childcare? Doesn't every child deserve quality childcare? Any questions? Call Child Care Resource and Referral.
Voller Insurance partners with you in protecting what matters most. For more than 50 years, Voller has built its reputation on its people, its clients, and a commitment to VIP service. Voller Insurance, Fargo, Bismarck, Grand Forks. Voller Insurance understands that the strength of its people is its greatest asset. People that tailor insurance protection that meets your needs. That's the key to VIP service. Voller Insurance, Fargo, Bismarck, Grand Forks.
This is the last show of the season. We'll be taking a break over the summer months, but we'll be back. So look for us again in the fall.
That's right. And if you're interested in getting more information about Medora Musical, it's 1-800-MEDORA-1. You can call that number and get more information. We're going to leave you now with some pictures of a parade, courtesy of photographer and actually the show's director, Dave Llewellyn. From all of us here at Studio One, have a great summer.